So as it runs, it pulls the dust out of the air, and then you also have a low speed, which is your quiet clean. You can turn it down on low and let it run 24 hours a day as an air purifier. Again, didn't have that technology 30 years ago when I got into this, right? So I want her to be able to see that. So if you notice, it has a light like the little Rainmate. So some people are tone deaf and they can't really hear it when it's on low. If you turn the TV on, turn this on low, you don't even hear it. Okay. So again, all of our dirt and dust goes through the machine, through the water, and it actually cleans it. So that's really cool, right? Okay. You run your Rainbow every day in your home, right?
I do.
No worries. Anytime we need to stop, again, you're not going to mess with it. It doesn't bother me. I can stop and hit the rewind button, okay? You turn it on high. What does it? Pulls air in here. You notice we got plenty of air going through the machine. It pulls the air at 120 miles an hour. Okay, I'm sure you've been there.
Let it. Just put it right on and let it suck your hand in there. It's a lot.
Yeah, it pulls air in. And what it does is it takes that dust that we're seeing and just what it's doing with it. See the dust going in? Okay, Stephanie, turn it right here so you can see it. You see the dust going in the machine? Okay, so what it does, it pulls the air and the dust and the water and it actually washes it like a washing machine. Can you imagine anything going in there not getting wet? It would have to get wet, wouldn't it? Okay? We have our motor's called a hurricane motor. So what it actually does, it pulls in 20 55-gallon drums of air per minute. 20 55-gallon drums of air goes through our product, it gets washed, and it gets returned to the air inside your home. Just so you have an idea, and you smell that, this has fresh, clean, water-washed air. Some of the freshest, cleanest air you'll ever breathe. You mentioned a cruise, the air smells the freshest out in the middle of an ocean. Yeah. There's nothing out there but water, moisture. That's what the Rainbow does. So you can go on a cruise right here in your home. It's like the blow you away. So anyway, what it does, it takes that dust, as we mentioned, it pulls it into the water, it traps it, and it puts fresh air in your home. Now, of course, in 15 minutes on low, on high, it'll take 90% of the dust out of the air in 15 minutes. Okay, just sitting in this room. So if you're in the shower or you're outside or you're doing something where noise isn't a factor, turn it on high, let it run 15 minutes. It'll clean the air 90% within 15 minutes. Okay? Now something else you can do though, obviously you say, well, Terry, I couldn't watch TV or sleep. Bless you. Okay. Is you can actually
start all that stuff up.
Yeah. You can turn it. Yeah. You can turn it down on low.
It's on low and just as an air purifier.
Yes. You can run it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Our product is designed to run 24 hours, 7 days a week on low. On low, it is using a whole lot less energy, so it moves less air through it, but you'll still be able to see that it's still pulling the dust in. The dust is still going in no different than if it was on high, it just at a much slower rate. Okay? It takes about an hour and a half to do what it does in 15 minutes. Okay? So in an hour and a half, it'll take 90% of the dust out of the air. So if you do actually sleep 8 hours a night, if you did, it would literally clean the air in your room 5 times while you were asleep. It would have recycled the air in your room 5 times. So your air would be, the quality in that room, like she was mentioning, is crazy. What I tell people is this: if we was to sit here and watch a movie, pop some popcorn and let it run, well, again, the reality is it would happen slowly. So then we wouldn't really see that big of a difference because our body would become acclimated to it as it was happening, okay? But if you set it in a bedroom and pull the door to and watch TV, and then go into that room after an hour and a half, dramatic difference. In other words, you get the impact of what it's actually doing. In the room with it, it happens slowly. You don't see the impact.
How long can you leave it on high?
Oh, you can leave it on high for hours if that's what you want. Yeah.
So if you wanted to leave in the morning, leave it on high, come back that day, it would have done your house? Or
the only thing that you would have to know, it's not going to do the whole house.
Well, I mean, just like the area that it's in.
Oh, I have no question about it. But you don't really need to run it but about 15 minutes to do it. Okay. But you can. I had a lady one time, she was telling me, she says, well, that noise wouldn't bother me. Can I turn it on high while I'm sleeping? And I was like, how in the world? She said, noise ain't going to bother me. And I said, well, if you want to turn it on high and sleep, that's up to you. Okay, yeah, that's what she said. But again,
not for me.
Not for me, Stephanie. But
I can sleep with that.
Yeah, this. Oh, absolutely.
That I can do. But
and again, like I said, guys,
I snore louder than that.
This will help with that as well.
It does, because you're putting a little moisture out in the air, plus you're pulling the dust out of the air.
Yeah.
Now, so that you don't get the idea here, the machines are doing 2 different things. The little Rainmate air freshener is designed more as a humidifier. It's designed more to put moisture into the air. It's designed more for that. This is designed to pull the dust out of the air. So they're kind of doing little 2 different
Humidifier, purifier.
Correct. 2 different machines. So I just wanted to mention that. Now, again, we didn't let this run very long, right? Okay, and a minute ago we had clean air. Okay, we had clean water. I mean, okay, and we've only let it run what, maybe 4 or 5 minutes, maybe. Okay, and in just that short period of time, you can see the dust particles floating around in the water. Do you see that? Now, if that would have done that in 3 or 4 minutes, what would it look like in 3 or 4 hours, or 3 or 4
Nasty.
days?
Or after you vacuum.
Exactly. Well, we're going to come to that, okay? But think about just the air we're breathing, okay? Because again, if we can clean the air we're breathing, it's going to be a lot healthier. I'm sorry, guys.
You're fine.
The only reason is so again, that is a feature that no other vacuum on the market can do. I want you to realize that. When's the last time you got your vacuum out and let it clean the air you breathe? Not even close, right? So not only does the Rainbow actually work as what you think it does, which is a vacuum, but now you actually get 2 products in one. You get an air purifier plus a vacuum. So the Rainbow is never designed to be put in a closet. Okay? It's designed to actually sit out and run 24 hours a day. That's what it's designed to do. Now with hard surface floors, we're going to come to that. You'll see how that's a huge benefit when you have hard surface floors. That's why I mentioned a minute ago, hard surface floors is actually a plus. We do have a set of wheels. All 5 wheels we turn and pivot. In the older days, you mentioned at your parents, we only had 4. And we didn't have a bumper guard, so if it bumped up against the wall, it would scar it up, okay? And it didn't lock in the wheels. So today, the Rainbow not only does it actually...
Yeah, I think
it would fall off.
Just sits down in it.
Correct. So you pick it up, the wheels would fall off. So now it locks in the wheels, okay? So you're able to let the Rainbow sit and run, and it just rolls around in any room that you want it to be in, okay? So it's a wonderful, wonderful addition to your home. And again, if you want to, from a cosmetic standpoint, and I call it cosmetic, you have a little plate. I must have threw it back in the box. Did I take it off just then? But you can put it on the front. We'll do that in a minute. All right, so something else you can do, as we was mentioning just a minute ago, is the little oils. If you want to add the oils to the product, then you can actually do that. She was mentioning the eucalyptus. I really recommend that at night. I really do. Okay? It helps you to breathe, especially if you have any kind of asthma, or especially if you have any kind of sleep apnea or snoring. Okay? You can smell that eucalyptus. Isn't that great? Okay? And then you just turn it down on low and let it continue to run. And it's going to continue to put that fragrance out in the air and at the same time purify the very air you're breathing. So again, that's really good at night. If you're vacuuming the home, you're pulling the Rainbow through the house to clean with it, okay? I recommend to use the disinfectant, the stuff that kills germs and odors, okay? Because as you're pulling the Rainbow through the house, you're killing any germs and odors. So you're literally sanitizing your entire house with the Rainbow at the same time. Okay, so wouldn't that be great? Yeah, that eucalyptus is the good stuff at night. That's why I put it in there already. All right. So again, that's some features that the Rainbow can do. It's just sitting here on the floor running, no attachments at all. Cleans the very air you breathe, which we said was the most important thing. You can also use it to make the house smell nice with the oils, or you can use it with the eucalyptus when you're sick, or just to make you help better sleeping at night, and then the disinfectant to kill the germs and odors. Okay. Do you know of any vacuum that can do any of those things?
Just that one.
Exactly right. And if you was to go out and buy all the appliances it took to do this, you could spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And our product does it all in one. One product does everything we just talked about. And we ain't even, Stephanie, put an attachment on it yet. Okay? So let's talk.
So how heavy is that thing actually?
Actually, the water itself, I just want you to know, a gallon of water weighs
8
about 8 pounds. So a half a gallon of water by itself is going to weigh 4 pounds by itself.
Right.
And then the machine itself is going to weigh about another 4 to 5 pounds. Yeah, if you stand up, you're not going to pick it up and say, no, it's not bad at all. But if you're going to...
I couldn't...
Right.
Just...
But if you're going out down the steps, what I would basically do in that point is you can actually do 2 things. One is leave it empty and fill it up with water upstairs.
Sure.
Okay. Or you can disconnect it and just have the water, take the water. You know what I'm trying to say. If the weight, but it's less than 10 pounds.
Oh yeah, I mean.
Okay. No different than any other vacuum going up and down the steps.
She's
basically.
carrying 10 pounds all the time.
There you go. I was going to say probably less than the baby would weigh. All right. Now, speaking of
About
vacuums,
18 pounds.
oh,
now.
my
is that what
goodness.
she's up to now?
She was 8 pounds when she was born.
Oh wow,
Wow.
yeah. So that's nice. Yeah, she's carrying that around with her all the time, wasn't she? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, something else our product does, obviously, since we just talked about that, as far as that, is we use different tools. So if you want to sweep the floor, you use a broom or a swifter or something like that. Then if you want to vacuum, you have a vacuum. Then if you want to clean the furniture, you have a dust mop. In other words, you use all these tools and all these different tools, dust cloths and things like this. Are you familiar with any of these? Y'all use any of these in your home?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Stephanie's laughing. Okay. All right. These tools right here, guys, are dry methods of cleaning your home. If you take a broom and start sweeping that floor over there, and I run around and followed you along with this light, what would you see?
It just stirs up.
It
more
does,
than
right?
cleans.
Yeah.
So when you sit back down, It lands right back down
I
there.
sneeze every time I sneeze.
Okay. All right. Same thing with dust cloths and things of that nature. Same thing with a vacuum. You know, we don't really realize it, but it's the most deceptive tool in our home is our vacuum. Okay. Now, again, if you found something in your home that was causing you to have allergies, breathing problems, and things like this, or if you found something like that, kind of silly, but when would you want to get rid of it, dear? Right away, wouldn't you? Okay. Well, we actually have something like that in our home, and it's actually the tool we use to try to clean with, and it's our vacuum. Do y'all have a vacuum down here? Is it handy somewhere down here? No.
Yeah, I don't even want to pull it out.
What do you have, dude?
It's just.
Okay. I ain't gonna.
It does have a filter.
Wait a
Okay.
minute. Get the one. There's one that you
Oh, you
have
have.
the
Oh, you
car.
have more than one?
We have when we were or when we had separate households.
Right.
We have matching vacuums.
Oh, you have matching? Oh, y'all have the same one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a Bissell.
Good Lord.
Well,
I need to clean.
it's all right, guys. It's all right. It's no problem. See, we use different tools.
Mine's clean.
Sure. Sure.
Probably because I haven't used it.
Sure.
No,
Okay.
well, no, I haven't used it since I moved in here.
So you do most of the cleaning in the home. You're saying you do use this the most. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. All right, well, guys, again, I didn't ask you to get your vacuum out to talk about Bissell. I didn't even know what kind of vacuum you had. There's over 300 makes and models of vacuums on the market. I don't know if y'all realize that. But if you went to go to Walmart, as an example, there would probably be a dozen or more different models there. You go over to Target, there'll be another 12 or different models there. You go into Sears, same thing. So you get the idea. They're different size, shape, color, and the main thing is price. You know, you can buy a vacuum these days. I don't know if you realize it, but you can buy them up to $3,000. And you can buy them as little as maybe $40 or $50. But they're all different prices, all different shapes and sizes. But the reality is, all vacuums basically have 4 parts that make it work. Basically, you have, again, an intake. That's somewhere for the air and dirt to go in. You have a motor, a bag, and an exhaust. Okay. So to go through it on your machine here, you have an intake, which is down here, right? And then I'm sure when I turn a switch on, the motor's going to come on, right?
Should.
Okay. Where's that at? Right here on the side, okay. And then the next thing we got to have is something to collect what we're picking up, which obviously we can see is in here, right?
Oh yeah.
And then the next thing you have to have an exhaust, and that's where the air comes out, which is kind of over here on the side, right? Right here, right? So let's come down. Can you feel that right there? You feel that exhaust? You feel it? Okay. That's where the air is coming out, okay? Now, again, air goes in, air comes out. So I know this is crazy because you don't sit around and talk about vacuums while you're on a date or something. You didn't talk about that when you was at that Braves baseball game, right? But think about this. If I cut off all the air where no air was going in, how much would come out? None. Because if none's going in, common sense, none's coming out. But we don't know and don't think about if air's not actually coming out, if it can't get out, how much air's going in? Same thing. See, if you had a lot of air going in, but it couldn't get out, it would be like a balloon. It would blow up and bust. So air has to travel through a vacuum. So that's when somebody, I don't know which one of you said, well, it has a filter on it. I remember one of you saying that. Okay, well, the reality, though, is this, guys. That's the problem. If that filter was made out of rubber or plastic, it would blow up and bust, okay? So it doesn't. So this right here, literally, guys, I know this sounds crazy, but this right here, guys.
Almost hair.
Yeah, it's hair. It's what the air we're breathing is going right through.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that sound nasty? You wouldn't stick your nose in there and take a big deep breath, would you? Okay? But when we turn this on, air goes through here, goes through the machine, and it comes back out, right? Because air went in, it goes through this, it's supposed to separate it. So these machines have filters in them, I realize that. See, there's a filter down here.
Oh, and
So we can
it's
twist that,
bad.
look at that. See, that's like an air filter on your car or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can actually see inside of here, right? Okay, so if I take my light right here, guys, and I kind of tap on that, what do you think we're going to see?
Oh.
Look. Oh my goodness, do you see that? Oh my gosh.
He's gonna have to turn that thing on high.
Oh, I know, I'm going to in a minute.
We're
You
all
ain't
gonna
gonna-
be sneezing.
You're not going to have to worry about me doing that, because I definitely will. All right, so I know, gosh, I didn't mean to do that.
No,
Okay.
I had a cough.
Okay.
No, it's not that.
All right, but yeah. All right, so that's that filter, right, guys? Okay. Now down here, check this out. Okay, another little filter, right? Okay. Now think about this. This is funny. You see the holes in this, right? If something was small enough to go through that, is the holes in this bigger?
Absolutely.
So that means it's going to go right through this. What this filter is really designed is it's down here so that what goes through the motor, it catches anything big going through the motor. But again, look guys, this is the filter after that filter. So guess what? Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm.
So that tells you that filter's leaking, right? And then the next thing we have is something up in here. And up in here, we have another filter.
Shame.
See, look at this. Okay?
I should've.
Isn't that amazing? And see how this has got fins on it? It's okay. I do this every day, guys. So
Should have got the one out of the closet that's not been used.
well, again, if you had, that one's going to end up
It's
with
still
this
gonna
one.
be, it's still gonna be dirty.
Right.
It's just not gonna have as much big stuff.
Right. What he's saying is exactly right. If you use that one, it would be like this one. Okay? So again, you can see it's got holes in this as well, so air's going to go through this. All right? So again, let's put all this back together. Now again, keep in mind, it's not just Bissell. You could have had a Hoover. You could have had an Electrolux. It could have been any one of them on the market. They're all going to do the same thing, guys. They all have the same 4 parts. They all do the same thing that I'm about to show you. Let's put all this back in here. And what I want to do is this last filter I'm going to show you over here on the side. See, there's a filter over here too. See, they're trying their best to catch that dust, right? Now, out of all those filters we just seen, we have this one, correct? Okay? So this one should be clean, right? You already know, Darren. It's not,
No,
is it?
absolutely not.
So if 4 filters aren't going to catch it, if I put another one behind this one, guess what? It'd be the same way, wouldn't it? I don't care if there's 10 filters in the machine, every one of them is going to let dust pass through it. So if I put this back in, just like we did a minute ago, I want to actually slow down right here, because what I want to do is I want y'all to understand what I'm about to show you right here is the most important thing I'm going to show you all night long. And the reason I say that is because regardless of whether you get a rainbow or not, I want you to see what happens every time you turn a dry system on in your home. I'm going to take this light and hold it up right here. Can you see in between here? All right, now watch when I turn this on. Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
That is something, ain't it? Okay. Now let me say this. You don't normally see that. Here's why. See anything now? You don't see a thing, do you?
No.
And it wasn't magic like earlier. Okay. So how long did we let it run both times, guys? Seriously.
Just a couple of seconds.
And look what we've done to the quality of air in this room, just running seconds. Isn't that amazing? Seconds.
Crazy, huh, Cheeky D? This is your first science class.
It is.
I need attention
Yes,
there.
you
That's so
We're
sweet.
going to work. What we're going to do later on in life.
You want to sell rainbows?
You know, guys, as crazy as it sounds, there was a couple that started up in Statesville about 5 years ago. And right now, you know what they're doing? They have an office that's selling over 100 machines a month. They got about 35 reps working for them.
Awesome.
I mean, I'm just trying to say you don't never know who's going to do what. But guys, the reality is, let's think about this for a minute. We said a minute ago if we had something or found something in our home that was causing allergies, colds,
Get rid of it.
can you see how this is causing these problems? Makes sense, doesn't it? It really does.
Get that next thing out of here. We'll throw it outside.
Yeah, you need to. Okay. Now sometimes people don't see it, and sometimes they'll smell it. Sometimes you can smell an odor. A minute ago when we turned that on, did you smell that? Kind of hard not to, isn't it? Okay. So keeps me from having to go wash my hands.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay. So again, what it does is it actually, in reality, helps us to do this, but to put it in perspective of just how unhealthy these machines are. This is actually an article that was in a magazine called the Saturday Evening Post. It said right here that a thimbleful of vacuum dirt has 5 million germs in it. 5 million. Would you say at least a thimbleful came back out just then?
Oh, yeah.
More than that, wasn't it, Stephanie? So how many millions of germs did we just spread out into the air just then? But every time we turn our machine on, that's what we're doing. And when you vacuum, you don't vacuum in just this room. You vacuum all over the whole house, right? Okay. So our product, as it says here, use the water trap vac because it collects dust in water. So where's our dust and dust going? In the water. Where's it going to stay? Not asking you to buy anything, but what would make more sense and what would make your home healthier? Using something dry or using something wet? This makes sense, don't it? Okay. See why so many people end up getting a rainbow? See why your parents probably bought a rainbow years ago? That's been one of the biggest reasons. Now the next thing we want to talk about, and then I'll kind of be tied up here, is trying to, as far as letting you get her to bed and everything, is we're actually going to take and talk about cleaning. Because when you get your vacuum out and push it around, that's what you're trying to accomplish, right? You're trying to get the dirt up and out, right? Okay. If it wasn't doing that and it was going to pollute your air, it would kind of be a huge waste of time, wouldn't it? Okay. So let's take a look at how a vacuum actually works. See, the way a vacuum actually works is This is the second part of the science class we were talking about there. See, we've all been taught kind of a falsity. And what I mean by that is we've all been taught that the way a vacuum cleaner cleans is by suction. I want you to feel. We got plenty of suction though. Okay? And with suction, you can pick up a steel ball or a bowling ball, and that would be impressive, right? Because we're picking up something heavy. Okay? So what he would do is he would stick to the bowling ball, and he would pick the bowling ball up, like a bathroom plunger or a suction cup. When you look up the word suction in the dictionary, it says a void, an absence, no air. So how does dirt go through a vacuum if there's no air? You can't fill it, okay? To prove to you what I'm talking about, let's do this. Let's take this cloth right here real quick, okay? And let's take on this cloth, and let's take this cloth, and the reason I put that clear tube on there is, Darren and Stephanie, I'm going to put that clear cloth down in the tube, and I want you to be able to see that my hand's not touching that cloth, correct? Okay? So when I turn on the machine, you know what I'm going to have? Suction. I can pick up the bowling ball or the steel ball. Am I going to move that cloth? I'm not out. So I can pick up the bowling ball, but I'm not going to move the air. What moves the dirt or the cloth is air. But if I stuck this to a bowling ball and did that, what would the bowling ball do?
All there.
Right.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have suction. So how does suction pick up the dirt off the floor? It can't. Okay? See, the way a vacuum actually works, you'll lay your hand flat out there. Now lay that in your hand. If you'll notice, all I have to do is move the actual hose of the cloth right across. See, it sucked it up. What actually sucked up that cloth was correct. It wasn't suction. Suction I had to have touched your hand. Air is what moves that cloth through the hose. Okay? So based on what we've just seen, what actually cleans the floor? Suction or air? Air does, isn't it? Okay? All right. Now if we understand that one little philosophy there, let's take a look at how the Bissells, the Electroluxes, the Hoovers, and all the other vacuums in the world use, and the ones that cost anywhere from $25 to, $3,000. So they all have a filter in it, like this, of some sort. And how many filters did we count on yours?
Whoa.
We did, didn't we? Okay. So if I take just one filter and I put it over the end of this cloth right here, over this little machine, I stick this on the end, I have a little bag or a little filter, and guess what I have here? An intake, right? So I turn it on, that's what I got. Lay your hand across it. You can feel the air, can't you? Feel steady. Okay? And we also got suction. But we have air. That's the main thing, right? The next thing you gotta have is something to clean. Somebody to clean, sorry. So if we're gonna have somebody to clean, they're not holding their breath. You're not holding your breath, are you, Stephanie? When you vacuum, you're not holding your breath, are you, Dan?
Nope.
In other words, we are breathing. So we're going to take these little wet cloths right here, and this is going to kind of be like our lungs. And our lungs are right behind here, and this is going to be the exhaust of the dry system. Now, I know our mouth and nose isn't that close. I'm not trying to say that, okay? But we're in the room, right? And we are breathing. So, again, we have an intake for the air dirt to go in, the bag or the filter, and then this would have been the exhaust, right? So when I turn this on, again, so that you notice we don't have a change of air. We still have that. We still have the same suction we had a minute ago as well, okay? So let's do some cleaning. You don't mind me doing that, do you, Stephanie? Okay? Let's clean this little rug. Now I'm going to take, and I want, Darren, I'm not counting, but this is what, like maybe 5 or 6 scrubs? Can I do any more cleaning?
Nope, it's done.
Can I clean your floor anymore, Stephanie? So if I keep pushing this, what am I doing with my spine?
Stirring it up.
Exactly. In other words, I'm not picking up no more dirt. Okay? Now you know what all the other companies will tell you? That you can clean it right. And they would tell
Never
you
loses suction.
Right. Dyson would say, we never lose suction. You can clean your floor. But I ask you, can I clean your floor?
Nope.
See, as long as there's a few holes in this open, you know what it's going to do? It's sucking up to my arm. But am I going to be able to clean the floor? See, they fool us into believing something that's not real. It's a falsity. Now I took 6 strokes across that floor right there.
That is
And
sad.
look at that.
It's really sad.
Now, is there any way all that dirt come into that one spot after you've been vacuuming?
Oh,
It's 6 strokes.
I'm
No way is it.
ashamed.
Isn't that crazy? Now look, guys, how does air go through here? That's the main thing I want to show you. How does air go through here? See, it can't.
can't, yeah.
It just can't. Okay. Now again, guys, I put a new bag or a new filter in it. since we've got all the holes open, guess what we'll get back? We'll get the air back, right? In other words, what I guess I'm trying to say is that air has to go through something. And if the holes are clogged, it can't. A new bag or a new filter. Imagine when we get our air back, right? Okay? So what you do is you get it out. We're going to vacuum the same place, the same 5 or 6 strokes, and guess what? Same thing. But the difference is that you say, well, why is that dirt there? Here's why. If you were vacuuming, you would have vacuumed, and you'd put this in the closet. When you got it back out and turned it on to clean again, are you cleaning it? And you'd have done the same thing and put it in the closet again. You'd have done that several times before you ever done anything with a filter or a cleaning of any sort. Is there any way in the world we're going to clean our floor that way? There's just no way. So the question we have to ask ourselves is, do we want the floor clean? And I'm assuming most people do. Because if you didn't, why would you even get your vacuum out? You see, if you didn't care, you wouldn't even own a vacuum. But you do care. So you're trying to get this out of your home, but the tool you're using is just not allowing you to do it. That's the bottom line. Okay? Again, guys, I wish I could come out here with some better news. But it is what it is, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay? All right? So the reality is you are getting your vacuum out every week, or every how often you vacuum, and you're trying to clean your floor. You really, truly are. You're going through the effort. You're just not getting the results you want. Does that make sense? Would you agree with that, Stephanie?
No, do you?
Would you agree with that, Darren? You're
That's
trying.
why I won't have carpet in the house we build.
Yeah. Now, guys, I'm going to say that. I'm glad you brought that up because that's the next thing I was going to talk about. The next thing I'm going to talk about is this: hard surface floors. The dirt that gets on in your carpeted areas is the same dirt that gets on your hard surface floor. You bring the same dirt in.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is the carpet accumulates it. Okay, the hard surface floor, it can't. It's right on the hard surface. It can't.
It goes through. If you have your whole house carpeted, goes through in the padding, under the padding. I hate it.
Exactly.
If you've ever pulled up carpet in a house, you'll never want carpet again.
Exactly.
I hate that.
And the reality is again, if your vacuum was working, it would never be that way. So is it? I guess my question is it the carpet's fault? Or is it the tool we're using to clean the carpet? See, that's the key. So when a person comments, and again, I get it, it does hold it. But if you start with a rainbow when you have new carpet, you won't have that in your home. That's a fact of life. I've seen it a million times because you're getting the dirt out. Okay. So the sad thing is, guys, we're breathing. So even if we change the filter and clean the filter every time, what's coming out the back end? Same thing we've seen that we turned that machine on.
Yep.
I know.
So the reality is, let me ask you this: how healthy is this to breathe?
It's not.
But every time we turn our vacuum on, that's what we're doing. Again, I wish I had better news, but it ain't. If you continue to do the same thing over and over and expect a different result, you know what that's called.
Insanity. Or stupidity.
And y'all are neither one. Y'all are not insane and you're not stupid. So the reality is...
She's a Carolina fan, so...
She may be borderline. I'm not going to say that.
Oh, look at her eyes. Oh, Lord.
Golly.
You're sleeping on the couch tonight.
Man,
Tell them, say you are
Stephanie.
couch. You are couch
There
sleeping.
you go.
Be in your room tonight, Chicky D.
But you get the point.
Oh, yeah.
The point is, how do we change this then? How do we not make this happen? How do
I'm
we...
going to save you some words. You've sold me on that. I want to see what other attachments it is.
Okay, I got you. But you get the idea, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, all right. So the next thing we're going to talk about is that, okay? And I just wanted, all I wanted to show you is this. You know good and well, because I want to prove to you. I don't want you to just be like, is it real? Remember that other wing cloth that I got out a minute ago? Okay? We're going to take it and put it behind the water. Okay? And guess what?
This is going to be our rainbow exhaust.
That's going to be the air coming through the rainbow still. I get power. Okay? Stephanie, I can get down here and clean where I did a minute ago. And I can clean.
You don't have to see that.
And no matter how long I clean, no matter how much dirt I pick up, and guys, what's so amazing, get this, I can take the dirt, cloth and all, what do I not lose? I'm never going to lose. Ever, okay? So, again, just so I don't make a mess in your home, we'll get it up, but I can clean. And no matter how long I clean, and no matter how much dirt I pick up, what am I never losing? I'm never losing air, right? I'm constantly cleaning your home. I'm constantly doing that. So if I cleaned your house next door, I can clean the whole complex. I'd have the same amount of air. So I'm getting the dirt out of your floor. But here's the best part. What are we breathing? See there? Feel. That compared to this. When you turn the rainbow on, you get fresh clean air. That you can see why we're certified, okay, and all that. So I just wanted to prove to you, Dan, that we have our certifications for a reason, okay? Now what this is an upholstery tool. This is what you clean on furniture and chairs and sofas. So that you don't have to take our attachments down or go to the closet to get them out. We carry all of our attachments around on board. Again, something we changed through the years. It's snug, it don't move, okay? You have a little slide on and off brush in case you have pets or hair, like you was talking about. So it helps to brush the furniture, combs the furniture like you brush your hair. Of course, I don't have any, but you get it. Right? So you got the idea. All the attachments are right here on board. Your dusting brush, it's really soft. It's not gonna feel very soft. So you can do TV screens, lampshades, moldings, anything inside your home to do that with. Now, if you do a lampshade or you do your blinds on the wall, you know, it's gonna, with the power, it's gonna suck it up to it. You're gonna have to play tug of war. So what we did is we put this little relief valve on the side, okay? So to give you an idea, we're gonna shut it, lay your hand flat out, be able to kind of see how it's pointing here. See the difference? It's pulling air from here instead of down here. Right? So what you can do now is you can take this and vacuum a lampshade and you don't have to play tug of war. See the difference? Because it's pulling air from here instead of down there. So you don't have to worry about that. You can do your blinds on the wall. You can do anything like that. Any kind of anything delicate, you can actually use and open up that little door. So again, that little door allows you to be able to not have to worry about playing tug of war. Now we just take 3 or 4 swipes on that lampshade, and just to give you an idea, you can see what we got off of that in that mess. And that's the stuff that lands out of the air. Again, and it came out of your vacuum. See, it all works together. Guys, if you eliminate turning your vacuum on, you're not blowing anything into the air, so that's less that's going to land. Then you've got something now to take the dust out of the air. Yeah. So you're fighting it on both levels. So it's going to reduce your dust in half. I mean, literally in half. Okay? So again, you have your dusting brush. To make your arm a little longer, like so you can stand up to do like a tabletop without having to bend over on your leather couch. See, I can vacuum the couch without bending it, without having to bend over. Okay? Same thing with this over here. I can go from this attachment to this attachment just by simply putting an attachment
That's
on.
good with my bad back.
Yeah. See, if you put it up here, you'd have to bend over to vacuum the couch. Standing up.
And we do have another pipe as well.
Right. Exactly. And then to reach up even farther, like to do baseboards.
Corners and...
Right, yeah. Corners, things like this. You can put the other length of pipe on, put your dusting brush on, and see now I can reach up there and do a baseboard, moldings, or I can reach down and do a baseboard without having to bend over. So your dusting brush can go on any length, or any of the attachments can go on any length, okay? And then the last little attachment that we have, as far as above the floor, is our crack and crevice tool. This is great for floorboards of cars and trucks too, okay?